Hi guys, and welcome back to SwitchUp, and we have another quick review for you today, and it's another from Cubic Games called Akane. This is a high score chasing Akira meets Cyberpunk slash 'em up, and although being quite simplistic, I really feel it deserves a review. We will be giving away, I think, about 15 copies of the game over the next day or so. All I need you to do is let me know down in the comments your favourite martial arts film of all time and why. Answers on a postcard. Is Akane worth entering a competition and potentially humiliating Glen and I? Let's find out. It's essentially a high score chaser where you can slash enemies with a single hit, killing them. Now, unfortunately, if they hit you in any way, shape or form, then you yourself will die. You're given a few tools to make survival a touch easier. The first of these is the fact that you move around so much quicker than your enemies. You can quickly dash in any direction, passing enemies or slashing, inflicting massive damage. Henchmen will continuously emerge from all directions until you reach 100. At this stage, you'll fight a boss. Now, before we get to the boss sections, let's talk a little bit more about those controls. You'll notice at the bottom of the screen that as I'm slashing enemies to pieces, this is filling a gauge. When this reaches a certain level, of which there are 3 sections, you'll be able to pull off a special move. This essentially allows you to create a straight line through which you'll dash by hitting X, killing anyone that is unfortunate enough to be in your path. Now, while this is all well and good and it does a great deal of damage, if you save up all 3 slots, then you can unleash your full special, a much more devastating version that has the whole screen freeze, and then you hammer a button and can, if you're quick enough, take out every single enemy in view. It's very, very cool. The final tool to your arsenal is a gun. Holding down the right trigger, you'll lock your character in position and be able to shoot in any of 360 degrees. I normally wouldn't mention music until that section, but it's really important to the gameplay in my opinion. I found the musical choices in this game really complemented the style of play. It almost feels like a rhythm game at times. You fall in sync with the music. You'll take a few slashes and then stop, and as the beat drops, whip out the pistol, shooting a few enemies and then carrying on. And when you slash others, you'll notice that it also respawns the ammunition in your gun more quickly. As well as the usual henchmen, there are other larger enemies that will require slightly different tactics. You have the brutes. These must be dashed through and sliced to be hit in the back, because if they grab you, it is game over. There are the gun variety. These will shoot you, but you can hold a button down to deflect their shots with your katana right back at them. As you progress, there are a few others, each requiring a unique way to take down. The boss fight comes at the end of each 100 enemies. These are quite interesting. Firstly, you're greeted with a small cutscene of sorts, whereby you're usually told you're gonna die. And what follows is a very intense, but usually quite short-lived fight one way or the other, as the game keeps the one-hit kill rule on you or the boss. When you do eventually perish, your high score will be logged. Now, at the time of writing, there's no online leaderboards, which is a massive loss for this type of game. We've spoken to Cubic and they are planning, hopefully, to add this in a couple of patches' time, which would really elevate the experience for me. As it is, we're going to have to host this competition through our Discord channel. The link will be down below if you'd like to join us. There are a number of achievements to be unlocked as you play. Things like reflecting 10 bullets back at an enemy or killing 200 or 300 will unlock certain new items and weapons, so that when you do die, there's a loadout screen where you can equip new guns, gloves, shoes, and of course your trusty katana. And I really enjoyed this tiny little bit of strategy, as one set of shoes might allow you to sprint the entire length of the screen, but the small dashes are essential in the boss fights. I found without those, I would die far more frequently on those sections. The same goes for the weapons. You might think, okay, this shotgun's a good choice, but it only has 5 available rounds. And then the gloves, which allow you to loot enemies more quickly, might be a good option, but perhaps the ones that allow you more bullets are. There is a real tactical element here. For me though, gameplay is very addictive, but it's also quite shallow. As it stands right now, not having leaderboards is an issue for me. I really enjoy the gameplay, but I want the leaderboards. It gets 15 out of 20, and the controls, well, they are almost perfect. They get 18 out of 20. If you're fans of anime, Ghost in the Shell, Psycho Pass, or Ergo Proxy, then you'll like these visuals. That combined with maybe an Akira and a bit of the 80s, and you have Akane. I really do enjoy this style. Yes, it's pixel art, but everything's on point, and the small hand-drawn sections look lovely, juxtaposed with the pixel art backgrounds and vibrant neon colours. Unfortunately, there's only one stage, and it's disappointing to be in this one area. The real standout for me is the audio. There is a real harmony between the audio and visuals, and they're tied together perfectly, whereby your gameplay sounds that the slices of your katana or the shots of your gun all become part of the audio palette. Visuals just don't have enough variety, even though they look great. They score 13 out of 20, and the audio 18 out of 20. Regardless of the platform you choose, Akane is not going to set you back much more than around £5 or $5. It is a steal at this price. Yes, it's a pixel art game, yep, it's a high score chaser and there's only one stage, but it's so much fun. Now unfortunately it can't be a complete recommendation as it stands, as there are no online leaderboards. And really, what is the point if you can't compare to your friends online? There's also not a huge amount of content here, but the price really does reflect this. Overall, I think I'd give value 14 out of 20. Thanks so much to all of you for watching. Make sure you let me know down in the comments what your favourite martial arts film or game is, and we'll be dishing out those codes and we'll let you know in the next video. It scores a SwitchUp score of a very respectable 78%. Thanks as always to our Patreons, and for all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!